This is the Jewell Meadows Wildlife Area near Seaside. Each winter, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife offers free elk feeding tours. Participants ride in a wagon pulled by a tractor through a meadow, flinging flakes of alfalfa to herds of wild elk. The elk come in close to eat the handout, offering a premier wildlife viewing experience.
First time here at this refuge, wildlife viewing area?
It is.
What do you think?
It's fantastic. It's a pretty rare opportunity to see elk, especially a herd of this size, up close and personal.
Why feed the elk?
The primary reason is trying to keep them off of surrounding agricultural lands, and it gives us the ability to do that without fencing them in or herding them back in. And then really, I guess the second big one is we have this educational opportunity with these hay rides. It's a great experience. It gets people involved in nature, gets them to be a little bit more passionate about wildlife, and shows people as an agency we're focused on conservation. That's our primary goal.
There are two species of elk in Oregon: Rocky Mountain elk east of the Cascades and Roosevelt elk in western Oregon. The largest of these animals can weigh 1,200 pounds. To see them this close is magical.
Next up we have what is called a spike bull. So here's a good example right here, walking by. This spike bull is about to turn 2 in June. After their first year of life, as you can see, all the calves don't have antlers. The males, after their first year of life, will start to grow their first set of antlers, which are called spike antlers. So this is a good example of that.
Male elk shed their antlers each spring and grow a new set each summer. As the bulls mature, their antlers get larger, adding branches, also known as tines.
A lot of people think that the amount of tines correlates with the age of the animal, which is not correct. They do increase as they get older, but once they get to a certain age, their antlers will start to get smaller. What it's really correlated with is the amount of nutrition that they get throughout the season which they grow antlers. So that's going to be from about late April to about August. So they'll grow these every single year in about a 3-month period.
The heaviest single antler on record is 28.5 pounds, and that's just one antler. Imagine walking around with 60 pounds of antlers on your head.
The rut, or the breeding season, happens in about August to September, and it's a pretty interesting time out here. If you get the chance to come back out, you'll hear a lot of what is called bugling. So it's a loud, high-pitched, almost like a squeal. It's one of those sounds that if you were hiking in the woods and you didn't know what it was and you heard that thing, you'd probably feel like you wanted to get out of there pretty quick. It's amazing to hear a sound like that come from these animals.
About half the female elk, known as cows, are pregnant this time of year. Many are accompanied by calves, which are born in June. They grow rapidly and within 9 months are almost as big as their mothers.
Part of why they are able to live a little bit longer out here is we do give them the supplemental feed. They also are not hunted as frequently. The Saddle Mountain unit is a 3-point unit or better, so that means that they need to have at least 3 of these points visible on an antler for them to be hunted. And we do have cow tags, but very few of them, so it's uncommon for our cows to get hunted. Most of it is either they die from old age or predation.
Reservations are required to participate in the elk feeding tours at Jewell Meadows Wildlife Area, and they always fill up. The tours are offered December through February. We got on this tour because it was the last one of the season and the weather was brutal, but that made the elk all the more appreciative of the alfalfa we fed them.
What did you think about riding around and throwing hay flakes to them?
It was great. They definitely know the routine, and they're used to coming up close to people, and they're not afraid of us, so it was great to see them that close.
See this story in the Great Outdoors section of our website for the phone number to call to reserve a spot in next winter's elk feeding tours. From the Jewell Meadows Wildlife Area, I'm Brooks Snavely for The Great Outdoors.